Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Dinosaur Dungeon. So, tonight I just want to talk about the PSNO Euhelopus. It's a new model kit I recently received. Well, it's actually not a model kit because it's already built, so it's more like a hollow vinyl statue. As some of you may know, I've already reviewed the Chongkingosaurus and the Triceratops from PSNO, or PSNO, as I like to call them. So, without further ado, let's take a look what's in the box. And here it is. So, we're going to go over this hollow vinyl model and discuss the pros and cons of getting this. I want to do an in-depth review to make sure that people are aware of what they get. So let's look at this. So Euhelopus is a 49-foot long animal. True marsh foot is the meaning of the name, and it lived in the early Cretaceous. The model stands 18 inches tall, and when stretched out and measured along the vertebrae, it's about 23 inches long, which makes it somewhere between 1/25th, 1/26th scale. So, if we take a closer look at him, you can see he's got a beautiful dramatic pose, rearing up on the hind legs and front feet out, like he's warning a predator to stay away from him or defending himself against a predator. So it's very dramatic, so that I like. As far as scientific accuracy goes, I've looked at some other pictures and skeletals of stuff, and I would say that it is fairly accurate. The short tail, the extremely long neck, the light-built body, because it's a mid-sized sauropod rather than one of the huge ones like Mamenchiosaurus. So that part I would say is really cool. The paint job is fairly basic. It's just your browns, dark to light, with some washes to kind of highlight, maybe a little bit of dry brushing, but nothing spectacular about the paint job. But in my personal opinion, that's neither here nor there, because a lot of people who buy things like this would probably want to repaint it anyway to make it their own. So that's not really a big deal. Now, the one downside to this particular model that I will point out, that I was kind of shocked, actually, considering I'd reviewed the Triceratops and the Chongkingosaurus, and they were near perfect as far as this issue, but you can see it clearly here on the side is seam lines. So you got one really big one going all the way around here, and that's just unbelievable, really. Yeah, I was really shocked when I saw that. And there's another one, and I'm going to try and zoom in for you so you can see that nice and clear. There we go. So there's quite a large one near the top of the neck. So the sculpt itself is great, but obviously in production, whoever was doing this, the molding and casting process kind of didn't take as much care as they should have, in my personal opinion. So that's kind of a disappointment, but again, the sculpt is great, the paint job is okay, but the downside of this particular model is that you've got the huge seam lines. Now for me, it's not a huge deal. I'm still excited about this model. I really like it, and I would recommend it. Just know that it's going to take a little putty work to get it where you want, and then obviously once you putty it, you will have to repaint it. So That's where I would recommend getting a little Abe's epoxy sculpt, fixing the seam lines, and priming it and repainting it, which is exactly what I intend on doing very soon. So, despite that one downfall of some huge seam lines, I would recommend this particular model to anyone who has at least some basic modeling skills in fixing models. If you're buying this with zero skill just to put on your shelf, please be aware of the seam lines. Other than that, it is a beautiful model, and I know Pinzo's coming out with quite a few more. They've also got some more new ones out as of right now that I'd like to check out. So hopefully we'll see these on the channel soon. And as always, thank you for watching, and please subscribe.